Okay, we ready to get going again? You guys are troopers, man. This has been a long day, hasn't it? But the best for the last, right? It's always about marketing, and everybody wants to know how do I get my book discovered? How do I find readers? And this next group of panelists are going to be really keyed in on that. So I'm happy to introduce you to Claribel Ortega, who I think has the best name of all time. And she's a director of media with Combined Book Exhibit. So she's going to really drill in on social media for you. So here you go, Claribel.
Hi, everybody. Woo! You guys are all tired? Yeah. All right. Try to make this a little bit fun for you. Let's see how I do. All right, this is an old picture, obviously. My hair is not like that, but that's me, I promise. Okay, so for social media, I think who don't have a handle on it, the thing that's most intimidating is like, where do I start? Where do I begin? And there are so many options. You can be on Twitter, you can be on Facebook, Snapchat, Tumblr. So how do you choose? And do you need to be on every single site? And I would say definitely you do not need to be. I am on all these sites, but that's because I love social media. I grew up using computers. It's second nature to me. I know that's not the case for everybody. And I don't want you to feel that these sites in order to be successful. Well, okay. So the most important to ask yourself is feel comfortable and what you're, sorry, yeah, this microphone is, hello, okay. So where you feel comfortable and where your strengths are. So if you're really good at taking pictures, then probably Instagram is a better place for you. If you just like writing long blog posts, then maybe you just need to focus on a blog and your website. There's different options for everybody. And also, it matters what platform you're on, depending on what audience you want to reach. If you write for kids, if you write for adults, it's different. So that's another thing that I'll be discussing with you guys. All right, so Facebook. I'll have to say Facebook is my least favorite, but that's also because it's a better tool for romance writers primarily. If you write romance, Facebook is a great place to be. It's also really good for groups, for like writing groups, for author support groups. I'm a part of a few of them, and I've met a lot of people through them, and they've helped me with like my query or with questions that I had about my book and publishing. And it can be like a really good way to be part of a private small community that's less intimidating than, let's say, something like Twitter. And it's a good place to network in that respect as well. And Facebook is also better for an older audience. So if you write for adults, like I said, romance, especially for adults, Facebook is the best site to be on. Instagram is good for photographers, really good for visuals. If you have a cookbook, if you have a book about travel, or if you're just really good at making multimedia for your books, Instagram is great because it's a completely 100% visual site. And there's actually a huge blogger community on Instagram as well, but it's more catered towards like kidlit, like young adult and middle grade books, but it's called Bookstagram. So if you're on there and you use the hashtag Bookstagram, people can find your posts easier. And it's a great way to connect with book bloggers. I know somebody was asking, how do I find people to review my book? Instagram can actually be a really good resource for that. And again, it's for a younger audience. Tumblr and Snapchat, again, younger audience. Tumblr has the Bookler community, which is like having a little technical difficulties here. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Yeah? Okay. That can be loud. So we have the Bookler community, and it's similar to Bookstagram. And Snapchat, I would say you guys really don't need to be on Snapchat, but if you are, it's a really great site for promoting your events. Like if you're wanting to convey something in real time, or you're going to like a con like this, Snapchat is really great for that. And so is Instagram Live Stories, which is just like Snapchat. So the website blog, I think every writer should have a website. And the difference between a website and a blog, a website is a static page, so it'll just be like your about me, where people can contact you about your books. but then the blog is something that you update either every week, a couple times a week, and it's less time consuming than the other social medias because you can write one blog post a week, and that's enough to keep your audience engaged. Okay, so Twitter. Twitter is the writer mothership of social media. I love Twitter. I'm obsessed with Twitter. I have almost 8,000 followers on Twitter for no reason other than just I tweet a lot, and I think it's really fun. So it's a great place to meet other writers. I run a weekly game called #MuseMon, and basically what it is you share one line from your work in progress, and there's a different theme every week, and lots of writers use it, and they like your writing, and they retweet it, and actually agents sometimes notice you on there as well from that. One Line Wednesday is similar, except I don't post it, so it's not as cute. And so it's a great way to network with agents and editors, which you guys probably find this a little bit weird, but I actually found my agent on Twitter, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a bit. There are contests where you can find agents like DV Pit and PitMad and Pitch Wars. And if you're an introvert, Twitter is a really good way to network. It's a really good way to meet people and to promote your book without having to step outside your comfort zone 100%. And it's sort of just gives you a platform for when you do meet people in real life. You're like, oh, I know you from Twitter. So it becomes a little bit easier. So pitch contests on social media are a really, really great way to perfect your elevator pitch. So when you meet people at conferences, when you are having a book signing and you're trying to get somebody's attention, you only have a few seconds to do so until they move on to the next place or the next book. So there are contests on social media where you can try to find agents, and you have to pitch your book in 140 characters, and that's including the hashtags, and that can be very difficult. So this right here is the pitch that got me my agent. Shadow Shaper meets the craft. A punk witch in 1980s New York City must solve an ancient riddle or be erased from existence. So, so with this pitch, I entered a contest on Twitter. Several agents asked for my materials, and I sent them off, and I ended up with multiple offers, all from a social media site, which sounds unbelievable, but it happens a lot more often than you think. There's more than one writer in this audience that got their agent that way. So, okay, a little bit more about contests. So the DV Pick contest, especially if you're a marginalized writer, it's really great because it's for them specifically. Total, I received 6 offers of rep, and the entire process took 2 weeks, which is not typical. If you're looking for an agent, it can take a really long time. So contests tend to speed up the agent search. Other contests like Pitch Wars are a little bit more involved. You get more mentoring. People help you actually craft your book, polish it, and get it ready for publishing. Pitch contests, more than anything, have made me a big part of the writing community, which you might be asking, isn't this about marketing? And I promise you that it is. But the biggest thing about social media that people usually get wrong is they think that they need to just go on there and put links for their book all the time, and that's not effective at all, because if nobody cares about you, they're not going to care about your book either. Just kidding. Okay, so the operative word is social for social media, right? So it's not enough to share your Amazon link. It's really bad to spam your Amazon link online over and over again. Nobody is going to want to follow you on any platform if that's all they see. It's not fun. It's not engaging. It's just not a good reason to interact with anybody. So it should really be a place for you to build a community, not just for readers, but with other writers. Other writers can be a really big part of your book's success when it comes to marketing and when it comes to blurbs, when it comes to so many things that you don't think about when you're writing a book. But you can really support each other a lot, and it really does help. Genuine interactions lead to emotional and hopefully as a result financial interest in your career, right? We love to see the behind the scenes of success stories, like how people become what they were. And if you make people feel like they're part of your journey, they're a lot more likely to stick by you and to become a loyal reader, a loyal customer. Another mistake that I see indie authors do a lot is making their pages only about their book, like naming your Facebook page your book title or making your profile picture your book title is not a good idea, because you're usually not only going to have one book, and you want to market yourself as an author. I don't have a book out yet, and I'm already speaking on panels, because I've been able to market myself successfully just through social media. I don't have a product yet, but when the time comes, hopefully you guys will all buy my book, right? So make sure your pages are not just about your one title. Yeah, sure, you can focus on it, make your banner, your book cover for a little while, but your handle on social media, your Facebook page shouldn't be the title of your book. It should be your name as an author. A lot of readers actually like to know about you as a person, and I know that can be a little bit uncomfortable for people. You don't have to tell them like intimate details, but they love to see your writing process. They love to know more about your life as an author. It's like celebrities. Like, we love to see that celebrities go food shopping just like we do, or whatever, in OK Magazine. People love to know that about authors as well. So one thing that I found really effective is sharing pictures and information about your pets. People love pets. So if you don't want to talk about yourself and you can put pictures of your pets, like my little guy Pancho there, then he's sleeping on a snowman. Yeah, see? Everybody loves pets. Okay, so the virtual tour. So there's a lot of things that you can do when you are releasing your book to build buzz online from the comfort of your own home with your pajamas on. I would say to start at least 6 months ahead of time when you're trying to promote a book. You shouldn't release a book and nobody knew about it until the week before. That's really not effective. You have to sort of build anticipation for it. I would have an online announcement planned for your cover reveal. It seems like a little thing, but it really does build a lot of excitement around your book. You can contact popular blogs, maybe a blog that you found on Instagram, to host your reveal. And you can encourage your followers to share the cover. And I like when people use a specific hashtag for their book release, because then you can scroll through what everybody else is posting about the book release. So that's important too. Another thing that you can do in conjunction with the cover reveal is release your first chapter online. I've seen a lot of people have cover reveals in online magazines or popular blogs, and their first chapter will also be on the post, so it also makes excitement for people to want to read the rest. You can also have a blog hop, or it's like a virtual book tour. So imagine you're going on like a book tour to different bookstores, but this is all online. So you can get a bunch of blogs to post about your book release, different things, Q&A with you, a first chapter, character profiles, all on your release date. And it'll build buzz because there's going to be a lot of different people talking about your book on one day, on their blogs, on social media, and hopefully get you trending because you'll be using that hashtag. And then people who have never heard of you before will find your book as a result, which is what you want. So things to keep in mind, visuals like graphics and video go a really long way. One of my favorite softwares is PicMonkey.com. It's free, and you can make really eye-catching visuals for your book when your book is on sale, when it's going to be released, if you just want to promote it just for no reason other than, you're trying to promote your book. It's really easy to use. It's a lot simpler than Photoshop, and I use Photoshop too, but I prefer PicMonkey because it's so much faster. And I work for the Combined Book Exhibit. If you're displaying your book at like a con like this, it's really good to have graphics to use on social media to let people know that your book is going to be displayed. You have to sort of celebrate everything that you're doing with your followers. Every little event that you do, everything that you do for your book should be celebrated. For example, right now, I have a camera set up recording this whole thing so I can put it on my YouTube. I have it live streaming on Periscope. So not only am I speaking to you, but I also have content on 3 additional websites just from being here right now all at once. And I'm making a huge deal out of this because that's what you have to do. You have to be your own cheerleader because sometimes that's the only person you have when you're an author, you know? So you have to push yourself. You have to show people that you believe in yourself. Otherwise, you know, why should they believe in you? Why should they believe in your book? So these are just a couple of posts from my Instagram, just to show you what I mean. So the first one up top is from BEA, the one with the pictures, with the books at the window. The next one with me and that woman, that's my agent that met me here and came to take a picture of me. That's my dog again. There's another picture of a quote that I put together from a book, a picture of me writing, a picture of me about to write. And these are all things that interest people. They want to know what you're doing. They want to see your process. And, you know, you don't have to get super personal about your life, but you're giving them a little bit of a glimpse into your life as an author, which is really what people like. And if it's visually appealing, even better, because they're going to stop scrolling and like it and maybe follow you and maybe go to your Amazon link after. Other things to keep in mind. So people do read what you put online. You might think that you're sort of speaking into the void, but I can't tell you how many times I've come to one of these things and people tell me that they recognize me from Twitter. So just don't be rude to others online. It's a thing that I see often with authors. Be professional and don't be overly pushy, especially. I know that there's like sort of a tendency to want to push your book, to want people to see the potential that you see in it, but you can do that without being overly aggressive. You should never pitch agents or editors unless they say it's okay online, and definitely don't mass message authors or publishers with your book link, because that's just annoying and people will probably just block you for it. It's not effective at all. Another thing that's important is being consistent with your platform. If you start a blog, if you start an Instagram, you should keep up with it, which is why I tell people you don't have to be everywhere, because if you make a site for every single platform and then you just stop updating it, it's worse off for you. It's better for you to pick one thing that you really, really like and put all your effort into that and build your platform there. So social media gives readers access to authors in a way that they've never really had it. So you should take advantage of that. You should find where your readers are and reach out to them. Have giveaways, ask for reviews nicely, you know. If you hold giveaways are a really good way to increase your follower count as well. And it's a way to sort of reward your current followers as well. You can also provide content on your newsletter or social media that's exclusive to your site or for those readers specifically, so they feel sort of special. You know, only they are getting that if they sign up for it. So you have to sell yourself and your book by contributing to and becoming a part of the online publishing community. And I promise you, it really does go a long way. It takes a little bit more effort and time, but any other way is sort of a waste of time. So I hope you guys really try it and, you know, become part of the publishing club. It's really fun. So if you want to follow me, these are all my fun social media sites. And if you're interested in promoting your book at one of these fairs, you can go to my jobs website, which is combinedbook.com.
Fantastic, Clarabelle. It really was. And you know, she does have thousands and thousands of followers, so she is somebody that you want to follow yourself on social media. So, who's got questions?
Hi, I think
Hi.
I'm in Muse Monday, so I think.
Oh, yay!
So I don't even know how this is exactly a question, but like listening to you talk, it's I think maybe it's like an age thing too. Just this idea that I would be like putting all of that out there and like it, I mean, maybe I'm a psychologist before writer. I probably should go talk to one of my people, not people in the book industry, about this. But it's like so uncomfortable to
Right.
like act like as a newer author that all these people are listening. First of all, like I will never, if I'm ever famous, I'm gonna be a really crappy celebrity. I'll be like hiding under the couch. I'm like so introverted.
Right.
I'm shaking right now even talking to you. But I'm just saying that I don't know how you do that. Like, how do you just say, I'm just gonna like act like all these people give a shit, and I feel like my friends care, maybe my family cares. He's my editor, he cared, but like it just feels so inauthentic.
Like, why
I
you?
don't get it.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying in terms of building a community. Oh, no. Well, thank you for your question, first of all, because I know it was hard for you to ask. But that goes back to what I was saying about building your community of writers and a publishing community, because they're your friends, right? Like, I have a bunch of my friends here right now and they're here supporting me, and I met them online through things like Musemon, So it's baby steps. Don't think that you're going to come out of the gate and make friends with everybody. Maybe it's a matter of reaching out to one person via direct message and being like, hey, would you mind reading my first pages?
I have a whole trilogy out, and I'm proud of the books. They're good, but I'm better at Facebook than Twitter because I think I like having more characters. I like Twitter too, but so for example, like I'll be doing a Facebook post on my professional page, and my husband, who's better at marketing, is like, you need to have them ongoing, but it makes me so I'll do one and it'll last about 6 days, and then I feel like, honestly, excuse my language, no one gives a fuck if I'm putting it up again. Like, I'm just annoyed. Like, it feels like
No, you can't feel like that. I think that has more to do with like our insecurities as writers, right? And that's what we all feel. That's something that you have to overcome. Like I said, you have to believe in yourself. And I mean, I can talk to you after this, like that's the good thing about coming to these events. You meet somebody like me and I can bring you into the fold, And that's why all you need is that one person to say, hey, you know what? It's not that scary. I'll be your friend. I'll help you out. And things do change like that. Everybody feels like that at some point. That I didn't always know everybody. There was one point where I knew nobody, and I might meet one friend, and that snowballed into more and more. But it's interactions like this and being brave enough to ask questions like the one that you just asked, even though it was scary. Yeah, you did great. So don't worry. I think you're going to do great. And I'll find your, after this, I'll get like your handle on everything so we can connect on Twitter. Okay.
Oh, okay. I've just fallen in love with Instagram over the last 2 years, and I just love visuals, but I don't understand how to market the books on Instagram. So, ideas?
Yeah. Well, for Instagram, like I said, you have to find the blogger audience is really good on there. So if you can find some bloggers to follow, it's not just about who follows you, but who you follow as well. Using the right hashtags helps a lot as well. Like I said, the Bookstagram hashtag is really, really good because people who are in the writing community or in the book community and readers really like that. There's also monthly challenges for authors on social media where you can, each day has a different challenge and you post a picture that goes with that and other authors check it and readers check it. So it's just a matter of like finding the writer community, the reader community on there, connecting with the right people. Did you want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to add specifically about Instagram because one of our
Try it, Robin. Try over there. Stand over there. I think you get better reception.
better results.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is better. What is that? Yeah, something. One of our top-selling authors in Ingram Spark is a poet, which whoever could sell that well. And what he did was he typed his poems on an old-fashioned typewriter on old-fashioned paper, and then took pictures of the pages and then posted those on Instagram. And now he's got 1.7 million followers on Instagram. He's known as the poet of Instagram, and he does really, really well. If you want to follow him, his name is Robert Drake, and he's a fantastic artist. He illustrates his poems as well, and that's how he actually has done it. And the other thing I would also encourage you to do as authors is, get your friends to do a little video of you, post it on YouTube. If you're an older person like of my age, get your grandkids to do it for you. And you really need to talk about yourself, as Clarabelle was saying. People are really interested in you as people and as authors and what motivates you to write. And your story is really, really effective in introducing you to readers. So. Thank you, Clarabelle.